the last game of the day here, the championship at the Nashville Open for the 2016 NXL season. I'm Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez and Nick Sloviak.
It's going to be a good one.
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. Houston Heat taking on Edmonton Impact. Both these teams fought hard to get here. Impact taking down the Russians in the quarterfinals and then going on to play X Factor. And Heat beat up on Infamous to get here, as we actually just talked to Kevin Cali-Rudolph and Brad McCurley from Infamous here during the short break. And they said, yeah, we were toast. After that 16 points that we played against Dynasty, we were just running on fumes. And so the stage is set here for this final match. So before we get into it, Todd, let me get your thoughts.
Honestly, I mean, I think this is going to be an amazing game. I think it's going to be a one-pointer here at the end. I think both teams have all their top players playing at the top of their game. I think this event right now is one that is going to go down in the books for the highest level of competition. I think this is a great field for all these players. We got good weather, good paint, and a good field. So honestly, I think Heat might have the edge because of the way Konstantin Fedorov is playing. The only thing that I'm worried about, if I'm on Heat's side, is shutting down Justin Rabakov and Justin Cornell over there on the Dorito side, just because most of the games this weekend have been won on the Dorito side, and Houston Heat really seems to be one of the only teams that's really winning games from the Snake side. So
I really think Ryan Moorhead has played phenomenal for Houston Heat over there on the D side of the field here. Even in later rounds of the tournament, he's been on fire over there. So if Ryan Moorhead can continue to play like he's been playing on that D side, and Fedorov can play like he's been playing on the Snake side, if they keep them in those positions, can't see why they won't. And then they continue that attack up there in the center, because Nick, we've seen the center of the field is very important.
Center of the field is absolutely important, especially with the counterpunch paintball that we've seen all week.
Well, both these teams really haven't really had anyone play bad. That's why they're in this particular spot right now, about to play for this win here. It looks like Chad Boucher is going to get the start, so I'm wondering are we going to see one of those crazy Chad Boucher run-throughs in the center off the break? Is he going to go right past there off the center, at the start of the game and continue to go? We're going to have to find out. Also, Sergey Sonyskov's out there, and looks like
Mishka Fedorov.
Yeah, so Greg Sewers is not out there here for this final, to start out this final game.
No, so there's the breakout. Houston Heat on your left. Looks like something might have come off Chad Boucher's loader heading up to the center. Mishka gets shot, as well as Alex Goldman, so body and piece dropping.
And looks like
Nick Laval getting shot out of the center, and Rainey Stanzik.
Yeah, so not a good break here for Edmonton Impact. They lose 3 bodies, and here comes Sergey Sonaiskov and Konstantin Fedorov getting in position to attack this Snake side of the field, but they don't even need to, as Edmonton Impact is going to concede that point, and a very hyped up Houston Heat winning that first one here. Wow, so Houston Heat getting a really good start to this game here.
Yeah, the off-the-break shooting that we've seen from them, keying up on people has been great. You can eliminate Alex Goldman right away, and that, both for Sergey and Fedorov, as we've seen earlier in this tournament, we saw Sergey doing a fantastic job as the front guy in the Snake when he got to get around Fedorov.
Yeah, and then Fedorov started getting on his horse and getting up there in the Snake, and Sergey not needing to go and play that one on that side any longer. But yeah, that 1-2 punch right now of Sergey and Konstantin Fedorov, it's going to be tough. But like we talked about, man, battle of the breakouts. Both these teams have really been isolating and killing players off the break. And we saw Alex Goldman die off the break, so good shot by Houston Heat to do that. But then the next 2 bodies came out of their bunkers. Yeah, Heat is bringing the same 5 out. Sergey and Fedorov going to be coming here, Snake side of the field.
Yeah, and you know what? Todd, Matty, going back to what you said about how hungry Heat's been, just seeing the reaction after winning that first point, the momentum that they're feeling already right now could just be enough to give them a slight edge here, right? Being that fired up, that could hurt them.
Well, they have the wind at their back for sure. Coming off that win for Bitburg, we'll see if they can use the anger to try to get back to the top of the game here against the best players and teams in the world in the finals at the NXL. Ryan Moorhead, though, trying to dive into his spot. Looks like a body coming off. Justin Cornell dies for impact. The ref is in there checking out Mishka. Looks like he is good. It's 4-on-4 right now. Nope, another body comes off. No one on the D side anymore for Edmonton Impact as Justin Rabakov also dies. So it should be, and there's another body. So right now, Edmonton Impact not looking too good here. And count that 4 kills here. So another quick one for Houston Heat. And here comes the hammer getting dropped on Laval in that center. He catches a couple extra bonus balls, probably about half a dozen extra. from Sergey over here on the snake side of the field. So another quick point for Houston Heat, up by 2 right now.
Yeah, Houston Heat's definitely feeling it. They got pumped up for this game. They've been talking really well, too, out there on the field, recognizing where the kills are coming from and then playing off of it. You see, they're not giving Impact any chances to move. As soon as Impact tries to make those fills up to the Dorito side, they get chopped up. You got this replay here. Here comes Chad Boucher down the middle of the field. And there's Nick Laval going to get bunkered. Then follow Chad Boucher as he slips and falls out on his own feet. First day on his new feet. As he comes through, makes that big move through the middle of the field. And he's trying not to get shot by his own teammates as everybody's out there looking for blood.
Hey, let's start playing a little bit now, all right? Come on. You guys shot that
1 minute.
Hey, I killed him. Let's start playing now. Come on. Okay.
Especially if you watch how Ryan Moorhead runs out there, it is the same 5 players.
Yeah, Ryan Moorhead,
for Heat.
I mean, he got horizontal trying to get into Dorito 1. He didn't run in there lackadaisical. He didn't go in slow. He went in at full speed, and he went in diving.
Yeah, Ryan
still got shot.
Ryan is the one person you could watch every time he goes to a spot. He never goes half speed or half anything. He goes full bore, throws his full body to where he needs to be to get there alive. And you know what? Great off the break shooting by Impact. Unfortunately, not enough as they lose 2 bodies out of their spots. So here you go. Impact on your right, Heat on your left. Chad Boucher again running up the center. He's going to slide into that Dorito on the side of the W.
This time a body now. Ryan Moorhead again getting shot, trying to get to that snake. D1. Looks like Laval comes through and takes out Chad George. 2 bodies coming off for each team, though, as Justin Cornell gets shot again. So it's 3-on-3 right now. Oh, it looks like Mishka getting shot. So now just 2 players, Sergey and Fedorov, left alive for Houston Heat. This could be a chance right now for Edmonton Impact to start to get back in this match. They have Keith Brown here, snake side, and 2 more players there on the D side of the field. There goes Rabakov, launches up into D2.
Yeah, Laval got bonus ball pretty bad again, running off the field. It just made me wonder if Houston Heat is consciously trying to put it on Nick Laval, the guy that's got to continue to run up the center to try to give themselves a mental edge.
Trying to tenderize him a little bit.
Yeah,
well,
make him not want to run up there.
I doubt that. If you look at Nick Laval, MVP from Vegas, you know, he's no stranger to playing that wall. And we saw Damien walk around with his shirt off earlier and talk to him. You know, he's just welted up. He's like, this comes with the territory, right? You have to accept that. As Sergey Shlishnikov gets taken out, so now it's a 3-on-1. Justin Rabakov, Zach Yakimek, and Keith Brown just on Fedorov. Fedorov's going to go ahead and do a tactical retreat. He gets taken out running backwards. He's going to walk off the field. So here we go. Edmonton Impact coming back.
Yeah, good.
This 3rd point.
Good point. Nice staying alive by Keith Brown, and also that was Zach Yakimek, who ended up going over towards the D side of the field, along with Justin Rabakov. So Rabakov, Yakimek, and Brown, able all 3 of them to stay alive here and put a point on the board for Edmonton Impact.
So Alex Goldman's played the first point, and then Keith Brown came back, played the next 2. So Impact still subbing bodies in and out. Heat ran with the same line. Looks like now that Heat lost that point, now they're going to sub in as Greg Severs looks like he's getting ready to come back on the field.
Well, you know, interestingly enough, too, is that because Moorhead had played so well for Houston Heat on that D side of the field, that was 2 points in a row where Impact was really focusing on shooting out Ryan Moorhead, diving into D1. So they might want to think about maybe altering where they're sending him, because they sent him to the same spot twice. He died both times trying to get in there. And again, he's fully committing. He's diving into that spot, and he's running as fast as he can. So, and Cornell also getting shot, going to the identical bunker on the opposite side of the field. So really, you know, these teams understand that that D side is where the majority of the aggression is coming from. That's the easier side to push up on.
Yeah, so look at this. So Ryan Moorhead and Greg Sewers out on the field. Their center attack, who would be generally Chad Boucher or Ryan Smith.
Well, and Mishka is also going out too. So I think what's going to happen is that we're probably going to see a pretty hard push on that D side of the field for Houston Heat, because the guys that have been going that way, they have the 2 of their ones now playing out there at the same time in Sewers and Moorhead, but they also have the 2 over there at the same time with Mishka. So
I'm going to say one goes up to the wall.
30 seconds.
That's probably Sewers.
Probably Sewers. You know, it could be Moorhead.
Yeah,
You know,
Moorhead
could
plays up
definitely
the center.
handle his business up
Yeah,
there.
we've seen Moorhead play up in the center a bunch over the years.
So Justin
10
Rabakov,
seconds.
Alex Goldman and Keith Brown out there. So, you know, both teams switching stuff up a little bit.
Todd, what do you think?
I was thinking the same thing Nick was thinking.
10
I bet they're going to look at both those guys and be like, oh, they're not going to go, but then okey doke with Moorhead up the middle.
Yeah, look at Alex Goldman lined up on the Dorito side with Justin Rabikoff.
Yeah, so now Alex Goldman is going to go out to the back corner bunker. Send your fastest guy out there. And then Nick Laval and
Ryan Moorhead.
Ryan Moorhead, yeah. Ryan Moorhead going up into the center. Looks like the first body to drop is going to be for Edmonton Impact here, and it's Justin Rabikoff.
Yeah, and Nick Laval gets taken out by Ryan Moorhead, so 4-on-3 in
advantage.
favor of Houston Heat.
Yeah, advantage to Houston Heat. So now Greg Sewers, he's at D2. Sergey comes over to help out Fedorov. And no one in the snake yet. Both Brown and Yakimek and Sergey and Fedorov are mirrored up. So better field position here, but there goes Alex Goldman. Alex Goldman on the attack. He dives all the way.
He gets taken out.
But he gets taken out. So a huge bite taken by Alex Goldman does not pay off and is now just 2 bodies left alive. No, check that, make it 1. It's just Keith Brown here in Snake 1, and it looks like this point should go to Houston Heat. No, but Keith Brown shoots a body. So things getting interesting here. Fedorov's still alive, but just Keith Brown. Keith Brown pushes forward. And then Fedorov has no idea that Keith Brown's got to the 50-yard line. He knows now. Keith Brown forced to push back into Snake 3, and Fedorov is just going to run down the highway and trade out with Keith
no,
Brown.
He misses him. Keith Brown
had a shot
backed up, and Fedorov thought he was still in the 50, so now it's a 1-on-1. Greg Sewers in the Dorito 4.
Now there's a guy in the corner.
Yeah, so it's
Mishka?
2-on-1 right now. And Greg Sewers goes to sleep on Brown. No, Brown.
Now it's a 1-on-1.
Brown is feasting out here. Keith Brown killing Fedorov. Fedorov not able to run him down. Thought he was going to run the highway, then cutting towards the outside. And then Greg Sewers just goes to sleep on Brown. So now it's a 1-on-1 right now with Mishka from Heat and Keith Brown for Impact.
Wow, what a move by Keith Brown to retreat into the Snake 3. Fedorov thinking he was still in the 50, runs the highway, misses him, and then Keith Brown shoots at Greg Sewers, who had missed him as well in that retreat to the Snake 3. Well, actually, I don't think Greg Sewers, as you said, Patty had any idea.
Yeah, he had no idea Keith was that far up. But you got to check off. You have to check off, and especially this deep in the tournament. Everyone has seen how chaotic things can get when bodies drop all over the place.
You're right, and you know what? Now I'm interested to say Mishka should know, hey, I'm up by 1. I'm in the corner. I'm in a great spot to defend my buzzer. I don't have to do anything. Keith Brown is going to have to put himself in a position to work his way to his right to get in that can, or at least be in a spot to kind of maybe even possibly, should a bunch of time run off, try and hit that buzzer. Mishka actively engaging with Keith Brown.
Oh, and Keith Brown gets him.
Keith Brown pulls it off. A 1-on-3 victory here for Keith Brown. That was absolutely nasty. Keith Brown tying it up right now for Edmonton Impact. Do not sleep on Keith Brown.
I can't believe Mishka was gunfighting him that much.
That's a huge momentum swing right there.
That is the momentum swing right there.
Well,
Keith Brown pulls off a 3-on-1.
If Impact
we've only played 5 minutes.
If Impact if Impact ends up winning this game, we could look back at this moment right here and that performance by Keith Brown, and that could be the difference maker.
Well, I mean, you definitely don't want to go down 3 points to Houston Heat. Definitely here in the finals, have to try and fight your way back. But you know, tying this game up right now. I'm sorry, 2 points. They'd have won 3-1. But I mean, 2-2 ball game. It's a fresh start. Okay, after those 2 big points, Heat jumping around, pumping themselves up after 2 points. Then Impact coming right back, scoring 2. We're back to square 1 again here. You got to be really happy if you're Impact.
Well, that's absolutely, and an Impact fan. And I'll tell you what, I'm not taking anything away against from Keith Brown. That was some magical thing that he just did out there. However, mental mistakes right there, unexcusable mental mistakes from Houston Heat. So let's check this out. Here goes Keith Brown. He comes from the 50-yard line. He goes in there. Now, I think that Fedorov thought he was at the 50-yard line.
Right, you can see he's pointing
he goes right for the 50-yard line. Keith Brown's going to stitch up Konstantin Fedorov. Fedorov spins around. Lucky he didn't pull the trigger and get himself a penalty. So that's not really necessarily a mistake by Fedorov. I take it back. That's just a great play by Keith Brown. Fedorov launched right as Keith Brown was moving in, and he got blocked out. So he couldn't see the great move that Keith Brown made.
Yeah.
These balls traveling, 300 feet a second, 200-something miles an hour. Like 205, but you can dodge a ball a lot easier if you're another 20 feet away from it.
Absolutely.
When you get caught and you're like, oh, there's the guy. A lot of times you can dodge that ball.
Yeah.
And then just a good one-on-one snapshot battle right there for Keith Brown on Mishka.
Yeah, a long snapshot battle. So here's that breakout now. Impact, Heat, Ryan Moorhead getting another spin. He's heading up to the center of the field. Looks like no bodies drop. Oh, Ryan Moorhead gets bunkered out of the center. Good trade. It looks like Brady Stanzik might have taken Mishka. It looks like he takes Mishka out with him. So 1 body advantage now For Edmonton Impact is Justin Cornell makes his way into the Dorito 3. Houston Heat have a body in the back center, Sergey in the back center, Konstantin Fedorov in the tower. You're looking at Edmonton Impact on your screen. Looks like Zach Yakimak, and Alex Goldman right there on your screen. Yeah. Justin Rabikoff out there in the Dorito can. Looks like, yep, Justin Cornell has made his way now into the Dorito 4. So 4-on-3 Houston Heat on your screen right now. Back center, Dorito corner.
Rabikoff going to fill out to that Dorito corner for Impact.
Heat's in a good spread right now, and as Fedorov makes his way into Snake 1 and gets locked up in a head-up gunfight right there with Alex Goldman. Alex Goldman's going to move up as Fedorov looks inside, and no one's really looking at no one. And Sergey and Fedorov are both looking D side of the field. There's only one gun on Goldman and it's back corner bunker. Oh, looks like Justin Cornell. So now it's evened up, 3-on-3.
Yeah, Justin Cornell getting shot.
9 minutes and 21 seconds to go. Goldman right there into Stink 1. Yakimak right behind him. He yells that death from Cornell to the back corner bunker on the D side of the field. So better field position right now for Edmonton Impact.
Yeah, Fedorov communicating back to Sergey. Sergey now forced to watch over.
Oh, Fedorov just took one in the goggles.
Where did that come from? He wasn't even shooting. It looked like he was just in his bunker.
Could only, well, that can only come cross field. I think that's Justin Rabikoff in the back corner bunker.
Yeah, so right off that death of Fedorov, Alex Goldman makes his way into the 50 Snake, and it looks like Greg Sewers comes out of that corner into the Dorito 2. Alex Goldman trying to find that body now.
Yeah, I don't think
pressure
Goldman,
being applied cross field.
I think Goldman just picked him up, and then Greg Sewers runs to his death. And this should be another point here for Edmonton Impact, and it will be some nice work by Alex Goldman, Zach Yakimak, and Justin Rabikoff, who was the lone body on the D side after Cornell died here for Impact. And now Impact, though Heat looked real fired up and won some first points, Keith Brown got him that second one, and then now a good effort by the 3 players left alive here to get him the third.
Yep, 3 unanswered points by Edmonton Impact.
And the momentum has swung.
It really has.
Into the favor of Edmonton Impact.
And, you know, and they just look like the methodical killers. It's like back in the day with the Russians, just completely unemotional at all. Heat, they know what's at stake. They want to get back to this, and they want to get that win again here in the NXL.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they just came off the win in Bitburg, but you can tell how hungry they are, but they're just getting outplayed in these last couple points by Edmonton Impact.
Well, you know, it just goes to show it's not over till it's over, man.
Well, sometimes the celebration isn't for you, you know? Sometimes the celebration is for them, right? Sometimes you come in, you're pumped up, and you're like, yeah, guys, let's go. And then sometimes you're cheering and screaming to try and get into the other team's head, right? Yes, maybe no?
No,
you know?
I can completely agree with you.
So, because some teams, they start losing points. Impact definitely in one of them. But you know, teams start losing points. They hear the other team cheering. The crowd's going nuts for the other team. And then it's like, oh, man, you know, that mental game that people try and play with each other. It's like people that talk trash. You know, I'm not a big trash talker. You know, I'm going to play.
You did play real hype, though.
Yeah.
You were the hype guy.
But that was mostly for myself, my teammates, and, you know, being slightly crazy, right? Yeah. But, like, you know, that's what gets me fired up, you know, but like.
So now heading back out here, it looks like Fedorov and Sergey still out there. They're going to ride until the wheels fall off. Mishka, Greg Sewers is back out. So really now Heat, they need to pick one up, tie this game up. You don't want to let Impact start to, again, get that win at their back here.
Yeah,
and start running up points. Keith Brown's
body.
coming back out.
You see the fifth body for Heat is? Chad Boucher was doing great. Those first points. Went up there, exchanged when he had to, made some good run-throughs, killed some people trying to fill out. So, you know, they switched, put Moorhead up there twice.
20 seconds.
Can't tell. Oh, it's Chad George. So Chad George getting a spin.
Well, maybe they wanted to find a place for Moorhead because he had been playing so well to get him here, and then he was getting taken out and trying to get into his initial spot twice in a row.
Sure,
he didn't even get a chance to play. I mean, he was alive over there for one point, but.
Yeah, so on your breakout, Houston Heat on your right. Chad George trying to make the stay in the break. He gets taken out. Looks like a penalty on Keith Brown. So that's going to take out 2 players, Keith Brown and a back center player. Looks like Zach Yakimak gets taken out. So 4-on-3 in favor of Houston Heat. That penalty definitely going to help Heat out if they can make some good moves off. And Mishka getting checked out. So if he's hit, that might be a penalty. Ref running over there to Greg Sewers. So Greg Sewers getting checked out. He is good and clean.
Yeah, so Heat now with a body advantage. Referee checking out Mishka. Looks like he's clean.
I thought he was reaching back for a flag there, but he was actually going clean. Oh, so this is curtains. Justin Cornell attacking for Edmonton Impact, making his way down bodies into that Dorito 3. He's in the battle with Mishka. Oh, look at this, out of the back center. Looks like Rainey Stanzik taking the walk-off for Impact, so only 2 players left alive, Justin Rabikoff and Justin Cornell.
Well, let's see if he can win this high body situation. They squandered the last one.
Oh, 4-on-1, absolutely.
Yeah, so, and then looks like Fedorov wants to make a move across. He looks like Heat's playing extra tentative though here and extra conservative in this point because they want to make sure they win this one. They know the count right now.
Yeah, Justin Cornell was just called out across the field by a ref on the snake side. He definitely did not want to come out, and he's looking over himself right now for a hit. He does not look happy. And I'm interested because I was looking at him too as soon as the ref called him out. Didn't see anything break on him. So I'm not sure what the ref saw, as Justin is still looking at his equipment, now jogging off the field. Yeah, he just looked at the ref and said, what? So 4-on-2, Houston Heat pulls it off.
So let's check out this replay here on penalty. So we're looking at Impact breaking out. There's Keith Brown. So he goes deep, running right by that back line. Slides, overslides past, a little bit too much pass, and then catches that hit there.
Was that on his knee, you think, right
I think
there?
it's on his knee if we can run it back a little bit.
Yeah,
So
it could be.
his,
Well,
right
you know what?
leg.
That's so he goes down on that knee, right?
You know, he goes down more on the other knee.
But you see it as he comes up, it's already there. As he comes up, it's there.
Well,
So
if he got shot in the knee, then
Can we shoot back at the 3?
A minute.
You got to go right up there now.
If you think so.
If you're going up, get over top and start dunking.
Going to God.
Okay. Because they're just sitting in there.
Okay.
The pass.
When they see
Whatever
me,
you do,
they're
run and
gonna
shoot.
go.
I think you'll make it.
But I'm gonna catch them first. I'm gonna catch them first, Mark.
They're not coming up now, right?
No, we're shooting.
Only if we see the block.
45 guys.
45 guys.
Going back.
It's all tied up, guys. 6 miles, 7 miles to go. Keep her going, man.
You can see when the referee came in to pull
yeah,
the penalty.
I didn't really notice it when he ran off the field.
It is tough to figure out with certainty in these, you know, those wide angles,
Yeah, so
whether or
Chad-
not somebody got hit. So now back into this next point, it's all tied up at 3 apiece, and the time's starting to whittle off this clock. Both teams losing a body, 6 minutes and 33 seconds, and there's going to be a minor penalty on Alex Goldman as Chad Boucher comes off that center for Heat. So now it looks like 2 bodies have dropped for Heat,
Heat lose Mishka.
and Sergey runs to his death. Here comes Ryan Moorhead is going to run down Cornell. Nobody's touched Ryan Moorhead. Ryan Moorhead gets all the way to the backfield as more bodies have dropped for Edmonton Impact. Definitely there was a penalty on Goldman, but
I didn't see those other 2 bodies
God,
for
there's
Impact
really
die.
quick deaths there.
Did you see those, Todd? Did they even?
well,
did they
there
start
was
with 5 bodies?
Goldman got the penalty, so he got Zach pulled. Laval got shot up the middle,
Right, he
and
traded
then-
out with Chad Boucher. My bad.
and then there was the 2 bodies over there on the Dorito side. Justin Cornell was in good field position too, but you know,
Yeah.
Sergey goes up and makes that move.
Great
Check
move
out this
by
replay
Sergey.
here. So here goes Sergey. He's going to launch up the middle, and he's going to get. Justin Rabikoff is walking off already.
Okay.
Justin Cornell shoots Sergey, but then here comes Moorhead streaking down that Dorito side. Justin Cornell was already dead at that point, and then just got a couple extra. But
Yeah, so
Moorhead making that move all the way down the Dorito side. Gonna run in, hit that buzzer for Houston Heat. It's Houston Heat coming right back after Impact went down a couple points, fought back to even it up.
Guys, this is that close game we thought we'd see. I was really hoping that we'd come in and get a battle, and that is exactly what's happening out there right now.
We didn't?
Nope.
They called
Did
it?
you hear that, Josh?
They called the timeout.
You don't have
We
to go
still
to
have
the
a
corner.
timeout.
If you get to that halfway,
Let's
Not
take
now,
it.
we're already out there. We're already out there. We're already out there, Bart. All our guys are already out there.
Timeout.
Come on, man.
We need fresh bodies now.
I get that, but everyone's already on the field.
Nick, you've shot just about every shot on this field.
no, I have done that shot. You know, being taller definitely has its advantage over that pin because you can drop that shot down in between the can and the tower, and we made a point of that watching Heat. Playing them this morning, shooting Fedorov and Sergey.
Yeah, because if you shoot over the pin, oh yeah, these 2 exact same guys.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know what? Fedorov likes to cut sometimes in front. He was cutting in front, and we're going to watch this breakout now.
So on the breakout, Impact They are on your left and Houston Heat on your right, and it looks like bodies dropping for both teams, one from each side, and Fedorov's going to be getting checked out here.
On that shot. Fedorov got shot on that shot.
Yeah, he cut in front of the can.
And lucky he didn't shoot his gun, too. Referee was right on that. Looks like Goldman goes back to the D side, but he was able to shoot him off the break. So it's 4-on-4 right now, and pretty much identical field spread for these two teams. A little bit better field position on the Snake side for Impact, because they have Keith Brown in the insert bunker, that stand-up.
Yeah, it looks like Heat, I'm not sure, is that Chad Boucher up there in the center window? As Nick Laval goes through, not sure if his team, oh, it looks like he got Ryan Moorhead. So that's a great shot by Nick Laval, who I thought essentially was throwing his body away.
Yeah, it looked like he went up there and air bunkered the center 50. Nobody was up there, but then rose his gun up and on this dead sprint, got a shot on Ryan Moorhead. Huge kill for Nick Laval.
Yeah, great shot by Nick Laval to turn nothing into something. As Mishka, Sergey, I'm thinking that's Chad Boucher up there in that center Dorito, a spot we're not used to seeing him play, as usually he launches to the wall against 3 players of Keith Brown, Josh Ahmet, and Zach Yakimek. So 4 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here. 1-point lead for Houston Heat. Looking at Edmonton Impact on your screen. They're on your left. Houston Heat on your right.
Yeah, 3-on-3 right now.
Zach Yakimek coming back to the back center. He's looking for bodies. Joshua Met.
Sergey just took a lucky bounce on the arm. Cross field from that move from Zach, who moved over to the can.
So Zach going over there to help Met in that Dorito 1. Keith Brown making a bump out here. He pulled up short and now has worked his way into Snake 1.
Yeah, Keith's going to have to do battle with Chad Boucher, who's putting pressure on him. Oh, and look at this. Mishka gets taken out from Ahmet on the Dorito side. So now 1 body advantage for Edmonton Impact. Sergey Shlishnikov gets in the Snake. Ref's going to run in there and check him out. Thought initially he was called out by the referee. He's going to get a closer look.
Yeah, just 2 players left alive right now for Houston Heat, and they are up by a body.
Keith Brown.
Or up by a point here. Impact's up by a body. 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to go, so we're starting to get down on time a little bit. And here comes move being made. Impact, 2 players on that D side of the field. There goes another one. It's just Sergey Solnaiskov, and he gets shot out, so they need to blow that horn. Or actually, no, they're just going to let him run in and hit that buzzer. So it's going to be all tied up at 4 right now. Yakimek found himself on the D side of the field there, shifting his body that way, working with
And that was a smart play, Matty, to make that move over there, because that allowed Met a little bit more freedom. And he's the one that wrapped around and got that shot in on Mishka that really opened up the game over here for them. Then they had 2 bodies work together down that Dorito side to work out Chad Boucher and then Sergey Solnaiskov.
Yeah, just kind of surprised they, stayed in that center Dorito for so long. Looking for him, especially after you saw Nick Laval come through. You know, you got to know Nick Laval's not on the field anymore, and I don't see Rainey Stanzik out there. I'm going to bet that wall is wide open for me to take to cut off whatever weak side of the field I hear. And here's that move by Nick Laval. He's going to come around, bunker nobody, and then look at this. Well, does he turn his gun? He does. Look at that. He turns his gun and shoots Ryan Moorhead.
What a great shot.
You know what? That's why you practice Todd's 3rd most important skill. Running and snap shooting.
Yeah, put me and Josh back together.
Okay, Josh and Ahmed, then JC, you're on the Snake side, Nick on the back, and Rainey in the middle.
So we're over there in the impact pits.
20 seconds.
Man, 20 seconds. We got a tie game here. It's all coming down to this. This is everything we expected it to be between Houston Heat and Edmonton Impact.
You have Mishka, Ryan Moorhead, Boucher, Solnishnikov, and Fedorov there on your screen for Houston Heat. It's like Chad Boucher will be lining up, shooting up towards that Dorito side. Let's see if he can get some work done as he runs up and takes off.
So going up in that center, Chad Boucher not running all the way up, and it looks like Impact loses their first body to drop, and then also another one coming off as Ryan Moorhead. So it's 4-on-4 right now.
Justin Cornell.
Justin Cornell.
And Nick Laval.
Yeah, Nick Laval also. So Justin Cornell had moved over to the Snake side of the field. Nick Laval still in the center, of course. But now just 2 players left alive right now for Impact. They have D1 and the center Dorito as well. So it should just take a little bit of time for Houston Heat to try to figure out where the bodies are, try to spread the field out. But it looks like Rainey Stanzik is getting up in the center, trying to give him a different look here.
Yeah, and I like that move by Rainey Stanzik.
Do you blow the horn right now?
Now I would.
Chad Boucher comes through, gets out Rainey Stanzik, so it leaves just Justin Rabikoff and D1, and forcing Edmonton Impact to concede the point. 5th point is going to go to Houston Heat. 1 point lead now.
I would have said the only thing that would have stopped me, Todd, is if Rainey could have got that shot on Chad Boucher.
Stayed alive.
Yeah, or as he was coming up, or if Rainey had come, which realistically, as you see this move, is Rainey in the center. Here comes Chad Boucher to take him out, and also part of the field.
Yeah. Well, if he gets him, then it's a 3-on-2. If Rainey stays alive, right?
And it had Rainey, Rainey wrapped around that snake side. He could have got Sergey trying to fill the snake. So I like the move by Rainey to get up there because that is an offensive spot, especially when at least if you hear on the break where the team has broken out to the farthest on either side. So good move by Rainey. Unfortunately, Chad Boucher gets the call from his teammates that Rainey's up there and does what he has to do and takes him out, leaving just Justin Rabikoff on a 3-on-1. And Impact going to go ahead and concede that point to preserve, I think, around 2 minutes and 35 seconds left to go, down by 1.
Time is definitely going to start to become an issue. We haven't.
Always does.
Yeah, of course it does. But we've seen a lot of quick points out here. So, we haven't seen a 2.5 minute long point yet. But right now with Houston Heat up by 1 and the time so low, he's going to definitely be conscious of that. And should they go up a couple bodies, look for them to just kind of hold out.
Yeah, I see Greg Sewers going to get a spin on the field, followed up by Ryan Moorhead. So Sergei Shlishnikov, let's guess Fedorov. And if it's Mishka, probably going to be sending what?
30 seconds.
Ryan Moorhead up the gut. There's Edmonton Impact on your screen. Justin Cornell, Zach Yakimek, Keith Brown, Justin Rabikoff, and Nick Laval.
So Keith Brown getting the important spin over here. As it looks like
see if
this
he
is it right here. Yeah, it is. It's all coming down to this. On the breakout here, 2 minutes and 41 seconds left to go. So we're probably going to see at least 2 more points. It could go long though. It all depends on the break. So in that center, Nick Laval comes around and takes out Ryan Moorhead. And now it is 4-on-4. Spreading out though. Konstantin Fedorov getting to the back bunker. Here's snake side, and there goes Cornell gliding into D3. Nobody's really far up there for Houston Heat, but also no one really far up on the snake, so Cornell's really going to be able to play a little bit loose in that bunker. There's not a lot of pressure. No one's in front of him. There's also nobody real up far wide, and there goes Sergey, and there goes Keith Brown.
Yeah, Sergey definitely picked up Justin Cornell making that move. Knew that he would be in trouble, so had to bail out, get into snake 1, because that's the first guy that Justin Cornell normally looks for, wrapping around. Cornell coming up over the top, trying to get shots in on Mishka. Greg sitting in that Dorito 1, playing with Mishka over there on that side. Fedorov and Sergey over here on the snake side for Houston Heat.
So Sergey was just pumping his gun through that lane, hoping for it to get a bounce shot on Keith Brown. Keith Brown improves his position, getting into snake 2. Now he's going to gun up. You can see the snake battle developing there as a lot of paint flooding through that inside zone. Still 4-on-4, minute and 23 seconds left to go.
Greg Sewers makes a move as well, Matty, getting up into that Dorito 2 to try and be able to play on his feet, get into a better spot to deal with Justin Cornell.
Oh, and Keith Brown just got taken out cross field. What a great shot by Mishka. Wow, Mishka just dropped ones over the top, and then here comes Greg Sewers. He launches, and I don't think he was able to get Cornell. No, he did get Cornell. So now Houston Heat with the advantage here. Under a minute to go, and up by 1 body, and up by 1 point. Should Impact blow the horn right now, Nick?
Yeah, I don't think.
You can't. 1 point lead. 1 point lead. Zach and J-Rab have to make something happen here. Fedorov sitting in that snake side corner. He's going to shoot across the field and try and keep J-Rab from making any moves. Zach sitting here in snake 1. He's got 2 bodies in front of him. He's going to have to win a gunfight, but he loses a gunfight down the wire.
Yeah, and now you got to blow the horn.
Well, now no.
Well, no, just
it's
give
over.
up.
Yeah, now you have to.
I mean,
it's either that or give up.
I probably.
2 minutes.
Oh, wow. So right in front of Impact's pits, as soon as that point, as soon as they blew the horn, Fedorov gets up and gives Impact's entire pit a couple little verbal jab right there.
Yeah, Fedorov's biggest fan, Steve Rabikoff over here. Loving
Man,
it.
what a move by Greg Sewers right
Oh,
there. I
yeah.
think Greg Sewers was actually the one that shot Keith Brown.
He
Because
was.
Mishka was looking
Mishka
on
was
the
looking the other
inside.
way.
So Greg shoots Keith Brown out of the snake, knows where Justin Cornell is, takes off running on the inside, and goes and gets him, blocking himself off from Justin Rabikoff in that corner over there. That might have been the move of this match right here, Manny.
Well, that was the most crucial moment of this match, and what a great pickup by Greg Sewers, underperforming.
Hey, stay the fuck in, boys. Stay the fuck in. Let's go. Let's go. Keep believing each other. 24 seconds.
Give me 3 passes. Here, you got one.
1 minute.
Just believe it. That's smart. That's fucking smart.
That was his best performance leading into this match. But they had faith in him.
How'd that go?
They put him out there. Well, it went better for you. You won it.
Absolutely,
But it's still,
baby.
but I mean,
Yeah.
but Greg did play great in that one-on-one. He was all over the place.
He played
burned a bunch of time.
He
Yeah, he
brought,
burned a
brought
bunch
a
of
bunch of time, and he played really well. And I actually think Greg's been playing pretty well all event. You know, I know like we're not saying his name, like he's making these big impact moves.
No. In the prelims, but not today. I mean, there was a couple games where he was just getting completely shut down and dying constantly early.
Well, you know, we could say the same about Ryan Moorhead running to the same spot. I'm not trying to be.
Well, no,
I'm
Ryan.
I'm definitely singing for Greg Sewers. You know, Ryan Moorhead. They switch it up where they send Sam says, hey.
Yeah, but you weren't
Ryan.
up here for these games. Trust me, Greg was struggling over there,
Yeah,
and you're right.
okay.
Ryan Moorhead is absolutely struggling here in this match.
And they
He's been
sent
getting-
him though up the middle.
Yeah.
Which is what I would have expected now with Greg Sewers. You know, that they happen. You know, hey, Greg, you're not getting it done on the D side. Hey, run up the middle. We saw that happen 2 points in a row with Ryan Moorhead. Now, 27 seconds to go. Impact just going to streak down the field. Nick Laval gets taken out. No one from Heat's dead. Goldman, Jason, 1 body for Heat. Only 2 bodies left alive for Edmonton Impact. 1 body left alive for Edmonton Impact. Just Justin Rabikoff as 2 Heat players come walking off the field. And that'll do it. Houston Heat is going to go on to win the pro finals here at Nashville Open.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Konstantin Fedorov, Sergey Sonaiskov. Yeah, and the starting 5 played so well. Sergey, I think, played almost every single point this entire tournament. Yeah, I don't think they sat him down once. You know, so we got to talk about who would be the MVP. I mean, Ryan.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, across the board, everyone on Heat obviously played pretty well. They wouldn't have been winning the tournament. Konstantin Fedorov was definitely getting the lion's shares and the attacker on the 1. But Sergey played every single point. It was constant. He was the one on the snake side in the beginning of the tournament to set the pace for Houston Heat. Now, Ryan Moorhead, he also helped get him here with some phenomenal play on that D side of the field. We didn't see much out of Chad George because Fedorov was playing so well. Chad George ended up being alternate. And up the center, there was a bunch of bodies that flooded up that way. But who do you think, Todd, should be the MVP for Houston?
Honestly, before you even said it, I was going to say Sergey,
Yeah,
just because of him shooting people on the break. Anytime that they lost Fedorov, he always filled over here. Rarely died early, if hardly at all. You know, I never saw him get shot out of that snake side can. He was constantly filling, shooting bodies across the field, staying alive, and you know, they made it happen over here on the snake side where no other team really did. So I think that was huge just because he was shooting that body on the break and then allowing Fedorov a ton of freedom to get up there and go his kills. And, you know, if it's a close second, then it's definitely Konstantin Fedorov with the way he played over here on the snake side. But Sergey Solnishkov, I believe, is the MVP of this event just from everything he did, the complete package from start to finish, from Friday morning to Sunday afternoon.
Who are you thinking, Ryan? Sorry, Nick Sloviak. Who do you think?
Everything Todd just said.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. I really think we have to award Sergey Sonaiskov. He is definitely the MVP for Houston Heat.
You know, it takes me back to Chicago 2013. Houston Heat won. And Fedorov was the #1 guy on the snake side. I remember Todd listening to you like, oh, Fedorov can do whatever he wants over there. Who backed him up that whole tournament?
Sergey
Sonishkov.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he didn't get as much credit as was due, I think. You know, hey, he's a Russian superstar, but he's the one name that no one knows that much about. Throughout the course of his tenure on Houston Heat, and then even when they left and went back to Art Chaos, which they dominated on in the last half of the year, Sergey was the one guy consistently, I think, across the board. He's not as flashy, right, as Fedorov, and he's
fluid.
He's way more fluid and way more active than Mishka has come to be. As Mishka is still a phenomenal player, but definitely has kind of tapered off a little bit, being a little more passive on the Drino side. Can definitely attack when he needs to be. But watching the way Sergey played, not only when Fedorov did die, but also when Fedorov couldn't make the move, was Sergey making those moves into the 50 snake. And he's now easily, arguably one of the biggest players playing in the professional division.
Yeah, proves that guys that are well over 6 foot and probably pushing 220 at this point in time, just jacked and strong.
Looks like 230.
Yeah, he's a huge dude now, but for sure, Sergei Sonaiskov, he's going to be the MVP. What an amazing performance by Houston Heat, and also Edmonton Impact, man, making it all the way. Such a consistent performance by Edmonton Impact this year, as they take, Edmonton Impact took first in Vegas, they took second at the NXL. Infamous won that event. Infamous taking fourth at this event to, let's see, it was X Factor that took third. But yeah, right back in the hunt here. Houston Heat coming. What a big comeback. 11th. They took 11th at the last event in Texas and 5th in Vegas, but that makes it 2 wins in a row for Houston Heat as they took Bitburg, and now they come in here to an incredibly hot and humid tournament. And man, just can't say enough about Houston Heat as they are triumphant here. So thank you guys so much for joining us on GoSports.com here from the 2016 NXL Nashville Open. Can't wait to see what happens in Cleveland. But before that, we're going to have the Millennium Tournament in London, so please tune in with us for that. So yeah, it's been an amazing tournament, and I'm Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez and Nick Sloviak, and on behalf of our entire broadcast crew, we'll see you guys next week in London.
I want to say big thanks to Houston Kid. I mean, it's my family right now, and they deserve the first place. Otherwise, I don't know. It's just, you know, you kept the feeling. I mean, that stuff been really hard, but my guys did really well. They bring this communication what we need.
Second point?
Like,
I shot all 5.
last event in Millennium. So, and I also want to say thanks, big thank you for our guys who supporting us. During the fan page or the grandstands, no matter what. Grannies, I just love you guys. Mom, D-Star, thank you very, very much. And big thanks for Sam. He's growing up like a really young coach. Well, that's his first win, actually second. It's a huge for him.
Thank Impact, you know, you guys are very consistent, and you guys played a great game, so hats off to you guys. I want to thank the NXL. I want to thank GI Sports, DLX, Anthrax. I want to thank Contract Killer, Ninja Paintball. I want to thank Gary Ballman in the photography. I want to thank Nike. And, you know, there's 2 special people here. You know, we have a lot of fans, but there's 2 people that really put it on the line for us, and that's Mama D and Randy Smith. So, and Nana as well. Where are you at, Nana? Granny Heaters, thank you very much. I'm exhausted, and I appreciate everything you guys did. Thank you.
Hey.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Houston Heat. Make some noise!
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you guys so much.